All right, boys and girls. So yesterday we started essay writing and we wrote about ice cream just in a flash draft and just to see what you had, just to practice that. So today I want to start our lesson with a metaphor. How many of you have ever seen the show? I think it's like Cake Wars or something like that, where they have to make a cake and it has to look good and has to taste good and all of the things. Well, there was a guy on there who built a 5-tier cake and it was beautiful. But when the judges tried it, it tasted awful. Do you get what I'm saying here? Are you following along with my metaphor? That we can build beautiful writings with lots of paragraphs, but if the inside of the paragraphs aren't very good, then we're not going to win. Does that make sense if we compare that to the cake? And so I want to talk to you about how do I come up with ideas for essay writing. And so that's what we're going to focus on today is how do I collect ideas for essay writing? A lot of times, in fourth grade, we will give you a prompt. So you'll have to come up with ideas based on that prompt. But sometimes in our sessions here that we're doing, you're going to have to come up with some of your own ideas about opinions in writing something. And so I want to talk about how you collect those ideas. I want to teach you a strategy that we use to gather essay entries. One strategy that works is to think of a person who matters to you and then list specific ideas about that person. Then take one of those ideas and write an entry in which you think about that idea. So let's say I am going to choose to do my sister, okay? I'm going to choose my sister. She is bossy, okay? She is always there. She loves my kids. So, I've listed a few things about my sister. Did I tell you a story? Did I come up with a small moment story? No, I didn't do that. I only came up with things about my sister. Maybe you're coming up with ideas already about your brother or your mom or your dad or your grandma or whatever it might be. I don't want you to list someone like my dentist. Maybe your doctor. You maybe know a little bit about him, but maybe you've been in a unique situation and your doctor was important to you. I want you to be careful that when you're coming up with your ideas, you don't go, okay, my sister. I remember the time we were getting ready for Christmas and my sister wanted to be the boss of when we were going to eat and we were going to open presents. And I remember her yelling at me, "It is time to open presents, Reagan. You're going to be late if you don't hurry up and get here." So that is a small moment story. That is not me just listing an idea about my sister. So be careful not to do that. We only want to list things about ideas, not stories, okay? So if you have been coming up with a person in your head, I know that you have already. Right now, I want you to use your fingers and list some ideas you have about that person. Push yourself by saying, "A thought I have about so-and-so is." And then just jot that quick as you wink in your notebook and then push for another and another. So right now, I want you to pause this video and I want you to come up with 2 or 3 things about a person, whoever your person is. Remember, you can use the sentence stem, "A thought I have about so-and-so is." Okay, so pause the video and do that really fast. So the next thing we're going to do is the next step is to choose an idea and then write an entry about that idea. So maybe I chose my sister is bossy, okay? And we're going to choose the idea quickly because I want to get right to writing. Maybe, so I would write this down. My sister is always bossy. Okay, and then maybe I'm going to come up with a quick idea about that. Kind of like what I told you a while ago about Christmas. This is a true story, by the way. My sister is always bossy. For example, at Christmas, she always decides when we eat, open presents, and what time we get started. So I just wrote a quick entry based on this one idea. My sister is always bossy. For example, at Christmas, she always decides when we eat, open presents, and what time we get started. It gets on my nerves. Now, I didn't write a big thing, but I wrote it gets on my nerves. It just gives a little bit of voice. It gives me a little bit of feeling to my story instead of just simply explaining something the entire time. So, what I want you to do today is you're going to take your ideas and you are going to grab an idea and you're going to do just what I did. And then you're going to skip down your paragraph and you're going to do it again. And you're going to take your ideas and you're going to write for 25 minutes today. So if you're at home, I want you to set that timer for 25 minutes. Make sure you have your list already so you can grab that next idea and then you can write an entry about it. And so we're going to put that into paragraphs. This isn't one long story. Well, it is, but you want to put it into paragraphs so your ideas are organized.